right, well, good evening once again. My name is Anna Muhammad. I'm the Equity Director and Food Access Coordinator for NOFA Mass. I live here in broadcasting from modern day Springfield, which has become Tuck land. So welcome to everyone. You are attending one of our webinars from the Inspiring Ideas from Experts in the Field. This is one of NOFA Mass's webinar series, and we are so glad to have you with us tonight. Tonight's session will be on growing culturally appropriate crops with the African Alliance featuring Bami Farms, and we'll be hearing from Julius Kolawole very soon. I'm also joined in the co-hosting duties tonight by Sister Dora. She is our Education Events Coordinator. If you have any questions about our upcoming education events for the rest of 2021 going into 2022, you can contact her directly, and she can put her email in the chat at dora@nofamass.org. If you have any questions about our food access programming throughout the state, particularly in Springfield, you can email me at anna@nofamass.org. We'll put those two emails in the chat for you for later on. Again, we are being joined by Julius Kolawole. He is the Executive Director of the African Alliance. And just to give you a very short bio of his wonderful work, for the past 8 years, Julius has led the African Alliance of Rhode Island, AARI, has led their gardening program, specializing in growing, selling, and making value-added products from African vegetables grown in South Providence. I can bear witness to how delicious those are. I've had their garden egg relish, and Julius is absolutely delicious. He advocates and promotes community vitality by engaging with different cultures at their local farmers market through cooking demonstrations and sharing African oral food stories and proverbs. And so before we hear from Julius, we'd like to take this time to thank our sponsor, Neighboring Food Co-op Association. It's a regional federation of 40 food co-ops and startups celebrating 10 years of working toward the vision of a thriving regional economy rooted in a healthy, just, and sustainable food system. Thank you so much to them. They have sponsored many of our Inspiring Idea webinars, and we're very grateful to them. Also, we'd like to take this time to thank all the NOFA board and staff who helped to put on not just this webinar series, but all of our education events. They are a big support to myself and Sister Dora in our capacities with all of our education events, and we're very grateful for their help in that. And if you are not a member of NOFA Mass, we really want you to consider becoming a member. Your support helps us further our education and policy work. You can visit our website at nofamass.org for more information, to give your support, and to become a member. And we'll put that in the website as well and mention it again. Tonight's format will be a presentation with a question and answer session right after. And we do encourage everyone, we want your questions. We want this to be interactive with your questions. So you can use the chat feature to put your questions in. Sister Dora and I will monitor that chat feature. If you're on the road, if you're driving, no worries. Feel free to text your questions to 413-214-1237. Again, that's 413-214-1237. If you are not at a computer and you're dialing in by phone and want to send us your questions. At a certain point, we will invite you to take yourselves off of mute to ask Julius a question directly. All that we ask is that once you ask your question, that you place yourself right back on mute. That way we don't disturb the sound quality for the rest of our viewers. And so without any more from myself, I turn over our presentation tonight to Julius Kolawole of the African Alliance. Julius, it's all yours. You can take yourself off of mute.
Greetings, everybody. I hope you can hear me. And thanks for this opportunity to share with you what we've been doing for last few years. My name is Julius Kolawole. I live in Providence, Rhode Island. And the name of the organization is the African Alliance of Rhode Island. We began in 2004. And since then, we focus on 4 key points. Thank you. Here we go. In Rhode Island, there are about 40 African countries that live in Rhode Island, from Egypt to South Africa. Lucky me, I think I know at least one from almost every country. The largest population of Africans in Rhode Island are the Cape Verdeans, followed by Nigerians, no, Liberians. Liberians about 15,000, give or take. Nigerians is about 12, Ghanaians about 8, and I can go down the line. So we are here in Rhode Island. We estimate our population as roughly close to 60,000 in the African population in Rhode Island. And many of us, if not all of us, bring our cultures and languages with us. And you're gonna hear a little bit about that as we talk about food. When I say languages, I mean a lot of languages. When I say culture, I mean a lot of cultures. Please, next slide. As I said a few minutes ago, and we focus on 4 areas. One is food. Second is culture. Third is art. And the fourth is health. They're all related. So what led us to food, the growing part of it? It began in 2009. We have quite a lot of women refugees from the continent. And they continue to ask us a lot of questions. For example, they ask, every time we see the doctor, they take my blood. I wonder, what do they do with my blood? And we began to understand the conversation around mental issues and so on and so forth. So we thought, well, many of us, not all of us, but many of us grew up in a small town, some in a village. Many of us are knowledgeable about agriculture. As I say to many people, for the early part of my life, I do not remember buying anything in the market. We grow them. So we thought what we can do for our women refugee is to begin a community garden. And the main reason for that community garden at that time was for the women in the evenings. You can get out of the apartment. They all can meet at the garden, and we have quite a lot of pictures of that happening, because they are not able to do what they normally do, like ask for, go to your neighbor for a tablespoon of salt or onion or things like that, or just say hello, know your neighbors. That's how it began. That was 2009. And then they get to eat what they grow. They were so happy, and we were happy for them too. Then in 2012, we thought, wait a minute, we can take all of this to the farmers market. And we decided we're gonna take it to the farmers market and see what it's all about. Please, next slide. So by 2010, we were growing about 6 to 7 different African vegetables. Today, we grow about 8. We also grow a whole lot of other types of vegetable, American vegetables. And we ventured into the farmers market. That was Farm Fresh Farmers Market, located at AARI off Cranston Street in Providence, for some of us who may be familiar with the streets and the city of Providence. And if you show up 90 minutes late, they were sold out. They were happy. As one of the farmers would say to me and to many people, we made friends. I didn't know it was that important, but yes, we found out it was very, very important. They engaged the community. So nobody looks at them like some funny, two-headed or whatever. They made some money. And one of them then still said the same thing up to now, that my grandchildren always think grandma is useless. Then I made some money, I bought ice cream. They think I'm the best. So it's not just the growing, it's that human element component of it that we cherish. And they grow all these things that they are familiar with. As we move forward, we decided now they are making money, now they are making friends, now they are feeling very happy. We need to introduce all these things to our community, bring many of the community into what we do, share all this with them. And that led to the initiative, Grow Your Own Food and Food as Medicine. So what is Grow Your Own Food? Initially, it's just to explain that you are what you eat. And if you eat any meal with less salt, you are better off. And we talked about quite a few other things just to encourage many people to participate. We gave raised bed to people. We gave containers to people. We tell you what to grow the soil. That Grow Your Own Food initiative is still going on. Today we have 15 women participating in Grow Your Own Food. Then we began the conversation around food as medicine. And that went on for a while with recipes, and happy to say many people came back to tell us it tastes different. Then we move into Food Voices. Food Voices is a series of conversation. We have a few of them. So for example, and I just use this to illustrate what Food Voices is all about. It came as a television series. It came as text, written material, narratives. But basically, we focus more on the voice, meaning television series or a group of people having a conversation. And we go out of our way to make sure that we bring, again, I use the Cape Verde, we will make sure we bring somebody from Cape Verde to join us who speaks English as well as Creole. So you can listen to the presentation or the conversation in your language, or you can listen to it in English. It was very successful, really, really successful, and that is still going on. And I can answer a whole lot of questions if you have questions for me along those lines. Something else I left out is the cooking demonstration. That was not intentional. It was not intentionally left out. But I need to bring that up because all of us learn every day. We learn, people learn through too many, whether by writing, by drawing, by conversation, so all along, you read about hunger. It's imaginary until you see it. When you are hungry, nothing works. The stomach asks, I want something. You can put rocks, you won't complain until a few minutes after. Hunger became clear and evident. When we began doing cooking demonstration in 2014. There were two major groups of people who came to our first, second, or third, I don't remember how many now, cooking demo. There are those who don't ask questions. You put the food on the table, they just want to eat. Then the next small group, they look at the brochures, they talk to the chef, they share the space, they want to know what is this, what is that, because we also brought recipes along, so you can take a recipe home. And in there, we have our farmers with their vegetables, the produce, fresh produce, culturally appropriate. So you can relate to both end of the activities. For me, it was the first time that it became clear that hunger is for real. It was a lesson that I don't think I will ever forget. Anyway, moving forward, in 2014, again, we began to look at value-added products. The process was quite lengthy, quite long. We don't have a kitchen. I do not know the process, the rules, the regulations, the certification, the commercial kitchen. I mean, quite, I call it diary of navigation. You know, every time you think you've done one thing, then the next thing comes up. But we were lucky that it took us a while, but we were very lucky. We took the garden egg. If you don't know what is garden egg, I'm going to show you in one of the images very soon. People call it eggplant. So to speak to many people who refer to it as eggplant, we made a t-shirt that says, garden egg is not eggplant. People have asked this question many, many times, and I will say what I always say about it. When we say eggplant, there are cultural values, celebrations that comes along with the word garden egg. Some will call it bitter ball. So the moment you call it eggplant, I feel like you strip me of that cultural piece that comes with calling it eggplant. I mean, a garden egg. So we made a t-shirt and it became a point of conversation, which by itself was beneficial to us. So we made relish. We're still making relish. We went through the process. We got the certification for the recipe that allow us to produce and sell in the market. Garden egg. Today, we have many people who now grow garden egg. You can walk in a schoolyard in Providence and you see garden egg growing within the schoolyard. You can walk to a vendor who have no clue what it's all about, growing and selling. So we're happy about that. We've also pickled it. There are a few other things we still plan to do with it, but those two items have been in the market since 2014. We sell quite a lot. We're looking for ways to improve our sales through the online. We're working on that. We haven't done very well on the online sales. We also made another product. We don't grow apples, neither do we grow carrots. But we made carrot apple jam. And you're gonna see the next image. Please go to next slide where I'm on this subject. And the carrot apple jam come in 3 flavors: sweet, savory, and spicy. We've reduced the production of the spice carrot apple jam because many people think it's too spicy. We have our own customers who love that spicy so much, and we always cater to them. So we have all of that in the market. Farm Fresh has just been wonderful to us because the co-packing is done at Harvest Kitchen. They have a commercial kitchen, and that's where it's done. Yes, we pay for it, but we feel at home every time we go there. So in terms of our urban farming, we have 7 locations. We have 2 additional locations, and I want to just mention that briefly before I go to my next slide. We partner with Providence Housing Authority. Since now going 4 years, we have 9 women at living in Chad Brown who participate in Grow Your Own Food. We provide the container, the soil, whatever is needed. They make decision what they want to plant. We also have another at Hartford Housing, it's another Section 8 housing. We have 11 women. This year we have a 3rd one at a cutting cut off Cranston Street, all participating in Grow Your Own Food. So we are happy about that, and I thought I should bring that up. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things. So there is so much demand on our produce, and the demand also demand for land. So we began to look at how do we expand? How do we get the land? So in 2018, we were lucky. 2017, 2018, we were lucky to get 6 acres leased to us by DEM. This is our 4th year there. Today, we are 14 farmers. And there is demand for more farmers to come and join us. Some of you on this webinar visited with us already. And we are happy to welcome everyone. You want to visit with us, that would be great. Last year, again, we were able to install a greenhouse. It's a 30 by 96 and a high tunnel, a 30 by 96. Why is that important? I seem to be emphasizing the size, and yeah, it's allow us to respond to some other challenges we've been experiencing. Number one, where I came from, we don't use high tunnel. We don't use greenhouse because it's either sun or rain, and that's it. So I'm currently learning the benefits of high tunnel and the greenhouse. But immediate benefit that we've seen is generally we get to the farmers market late because we don't have space to seed or to plant some things like cilantro and a few other early vegetables like that, which allow us to get to the market early. We tested that this year. It was a major success. We're looking at improving on that. For the number of years I've been doing this, this is the first time we were able to show up in the market. Early May, generally it's mid-late June that we always show up in the market. So there's a advantages of having these two. Again, it's still a learning process, and but we are moving forward on it. I'm glad to hear to share that with you. Please, next slide. So I mentioned about farmers market. We began in 2012 at AARI Farmers Market. And we have a cooking demonstration there. 2014 Winter Market, all operated by Farm Fresh. The Winter Market has its own pluses and its own challenges. I'm not going to get into all of that today, unless there are questions about it. So the experience at Winter Market in Pawtucket was that many members of my community don't come to that market. And for various reasons. So we thought, how about if we create a summer season pop-up, we call it a pop-up farmers market, to begin the process. And happy to say, we began in 2018. The mission, our mission basically is to take fresh, locally grown produce to our community. And we've been doing that. We move from one neighborhood to another. We set up, we promote. What is unique about our pop-up market is we go to places nobody else wants to go to. And we are so proud of that. We also bring culture. You can come to our pop-up market. You may choose to buy vegetables, or you may just want to watch a performance. We bring culture into it, we bring art into it. And it's been a success. In fact, we've expanded. This year, 2021, we had 8 pop-up farmers market. We were also lucky that we were able to introduce what we call a Bami buck. Bami is the name of the farm. The buck is we were able to raise some funds. So when we set up in a specific location, we make sure that the planning and the implementation of the pop-up brings in people who live in that particular community. That's a requirement for us. If we are coming to your neighborhood, we want you to be part of the planning and the implementation. We want you in the market. That's a requirement for us to come to that general environment, because we believe you know the neighborhood than we do, and you can best guide us, and you can best invite people, and you can best promote. So we've been doing that, and it has worked very, very well, and we're happy to report on that. Last year, due to COVID, we went through some changes, some difficult time, but we are happy that 2021 wasn't as bad as 2020. I will say that the farmers did fairly well this year. Really, really did fairly well. And we are looking forward to next year. And I'm convinced that next year will be another winner for us. We have already been invited to open another pop-up farmers market. And we're already looking at how can we be creative. I want to just say one or two things about what I mean by being creative. This year, 2021, opened another door. The young folks from Springfield came to spend a day with us. It was a day that reminded us why our youth are so important, why we must do what we do with them in tow. Open up, let them ask questions, let them take part. They spent a whole day, walked through the farm, we sat there, we ate, they asked questions. We went to one of our community gardens. They also participated in one of our pop-up farmers markets. So they have a whole a whole day full of activities. I share that story almost every time I have the opportunity because this is what we need to do. Catch them early, and we plan to do more of it next year. Now I want to go to the next slide. I'm sure you will have a lot of questions for me. So earlier on, I mentioned garden egg. You can see the picture of garden egg. That's garden egg. If you are interested, just reach out to me or reach out to Anna. I'll get you some seeds. And next to it, you can see 2 jars next to it there. One is relish. Yeah, we call it relish, but the label says bitter ball. Next to it is pickled garden egg. Again, we're selling quite, in fact, we just have new co-packed. I think last week, we just have new ones made. If you're interested in tasting, again, if you can't find me, look for Anna. She knows how to find me. So this we've been selling, and we are happy about it. So some people don't like the garden egg because there are about 5 varieties of it. I'm just sharing one with you today. The smaller they are, the bitter they are. If you take the smallest, they are very bitter. The question I've been asking myself, and I don't know the answer to it, is what is good in that bitterness? What health benefits can I find in the bitterness of the little ones? The others are very crunchy. They get, you can see it looks like a little egg. Again, they come in 5 different varieties. We have 2 other varieties that are bigger than what you are looking at. And the bigger they are, the less bitter they are. Some of us just love it when it is small and bitter. As one of my friends who comes to the farm from time to time, he would just go in and begin to take it off the stem and chew. I remember asking him, why do you do that all the time? He said, well, it reminds me of my grandmother. So we have culture, we have stories, we have history behind most of what we grow. Please go to the next slide. We're almost there. So I also mentioned carrot apple jam, sweet, savory, and spicy. Okay. I make bread, I make muffin, I make cookies or on your salad. So the carrot apple jam is serves quite a lot of purposes. Some of our constant customers, they show up and we try to engage, say, no. You will give us the empty bottle and he wants another new one. You know, now we are selling online the carrot apple jam. Our hope is with a renewed, updated website, we're going to be doing quite a lot of online market in the next couple of weeks. Next slide, please. So, how have we been able to do all of the above? Because of friends, because of network, the Food Solution New England has just been one heck of an organization. We've been part of that now going 8 years. It's been just successful, moving us along. I can say more if you want. The next one, the SNEFCC, South New England Farmers of Color Collaborative. That is Black farmers in Rhode Island, in Connecticut, and in Massachusetts. It's new, about a year old. And we get some funding. We're going to be training minority farmers in case any of us or you know someone who would be interested in this. Please get in touch with us. I know that each state will be training about 10 minority farmers. Actually, I think all of that will start very soon. So I hope you know someone or someone who knows someone who can have interest in the training, and please refer them to us. The state of Rhode Island, whether we talk about DEM, whether we talk about Rhode Island Food Policy Council, whether we talk about friends in this state, they have been wonderful. We still have a long way to go, but I think we've taken quite some strong steps with everybody on this webinar today and friends you're going to be talking to after. It's my hope that you can join us to take the next big step. Funding sources. Some have stepped forward, and Champlain is one, Rhode Island Foundation is another, USDA is another. I can go down the line. We have a family foundation out of Connecticut, very, very friendly. We've also been lucky with, here I provided a name as compared to what I did with everybody else. And that name is Betty Simons. Betty has just been generous, extremely, extremely generous. She gives her time, her talent, her knowledge, her advice all the time. Now, 10 years, she's been doing that with us. So I just want to give a shout out to Betty for all she does for us. Okay. Betty, I believe this year is 78 years old. Friends, countless, too many, too many. I think I just made some new friends. We were at Boston Local Food Festival this year. This is third year AARI will be part of. And I have friends from chefs who came with us. And I think we had about 12 to 1,200 or 1,300 people came to our table. Friends. Our pop-up market is guided, planning and implementation by friends and volunteers. The farm, another gentleman, family, John and the wife, they serve as mentor. The health, this is our 16th year of Health and African Health Summit. We found the community as volunteers in the planning and the implementation of it. This time tomorrow, we will be on the Zoom presenting something about health that affects all of us. So we have been very lucky, very, very lucky. And part of being lucky is why we are here tonight with all of you listening to me. And I'm grateful for that. Next slide, please. So this is, I don't know why I put it here, I shouldn't. We have to spend another 90 minutes on this subject, but I'll give you a quick, very quick, 1 or 2 points on this. This is a serious challenge for us. We are unable to break through this barrier. It's a serious barrier. Few years back, 2015, we began to ask questions about seafood. We were told a whole lot of things I would not like to repeat. But I think I contributed to that mess also because I wrote a grant. And the grant said, basically a quick summary on it said, if it is true that we live in a food desert, and if it is also true that we live in an ocean state, how about bringing the ocean to the desert? Well, it was not a funny joke. I was just having fun, but it was no joke at all. Many people didn't think it was funny. Studies were done to confirm that we in the minority community love to eat seafood. We haven't been able to break through. Between last year, August, and this year, October, we received 800 pounds of fish per week. We rebag it and we distribute. We try to find a way to move that from receiving free to economic opportunity. We are yet to break through that barrier. So this is a touchy subject, but I thought I will just give you a few nuggets on it. Please, let's go to the next slide. Okay. I want to encourage all of you, you have time, please come visit with us or volunteer with us. This year, 2021, we had series of visitors. We received free donation of pollinators, and there were two young girls. I will take their ages to be maybe 9 years and 10 years, spent 2 days with us, helping us plant the pollinators. We have quite a lot of visitors and volunteers, but I just want to emphasize that those two girls, I can't forget about them. They were just marvelous. There are challenges, and I will put the challenge as the urgency of time. Food has been used as a weapon. Food will continue to be used as a weapon. Yes, it's nourishing. Yes, we need the food. I think all of us should get involved in it. If you don't want to grow, that's fine. That's fine, you don't have to. But the labeling, you can be part of. The marketing, you can be part of. The science of the soil. I mean, there are so many areas of food that we all can participate in. And A, it's good for our body. It gives us good health. B, there's economic activities behind it. As I said, you can make good money. It's a hard work, but you don't have to do the growing. You can do the selling. You can do the value added. I'm sure many of you on this webinar today know how to can your vegetables and things like that, and you get to keep it and eat during the winter. Well, we can help you turn that into commercial venture. You know, so the challenges is us, I think. Why do I say that? Because most of what we need is in our hand. We own it already. It's in our hand. We just have to leverage it. And that's why I consider that to be the challenge and the urgency of time before us. Next slide. I think I have one more slide or so. Yes, I think I do have one more. Okay. We're looking ahead. We're looking ahead. My hope next year, and it's my hope, A, that we're gonna have 2 new pop-up farmers markets. B, that we learn to operate our greenhouse and high tunnel better than we have so far, so we can get to the market early. I'm also going to be looking forward to how do we bring the young ones to the farm next year. Just very important. I think I'm going to stop here. I hope questions will allow me to say more. So I want to say thank you, everybody. I think the last slide is Q&A. Oh, what did I do? Back to Anna.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Wow, what a wonderful presentation. And I can bear witness to a great deal of it as I had a chance to see the farm in flesh and to get a chance to taste some of that carrot apple jam. We had the sweet one, and the youth, they enjoyed it. And I think one of them actually took it home and didn't share it with the rest of us. But it was really good, very good, very good. A lot of good things going on in Rhode Island with the African Alliance. So we have a few questions, and I do invite everyone who's on the line, please feel free to add your questions in the chat. And once again, you can send questions to 413-214-1237. If you're not at a computer, we'll take your questions there. And we do have a question that came in concerning SNAP, EBT. Do the pop-up markets take SNAP benefits or the use of the EBT card?
We do. We do. We are working with Farm Fresh, okay, to go through the training. Yes, we do, but we work through Farm Fresh to make that available to our customers. What we would like to do is take ownership of it.
Mhm.
We are yet to get there. We've attempted to, but there are those picket barriers, you know, the little one, the big one, they're there, okay? But my hope is, yes, we're gonna get there. What we did this year is we bought some machines. We're now part of Square as well as another online. So we will become proficient in the use of that. Part of that thinking is this. I think our community, anytime you read any published material, they talk about how much money goes to our community. Okay. I think how great will it be if we're able to keep that money in that community just for 1 day or 2 before it goes out. Okay. And that is the challenge that we like to overcome. Find ways to keep that money in that community for 1 day or 2. Right now, it shows up and it's gone. Okay, so.
And wow, that's a great response, a great question as well. And to continue this conversation about keeping the money circulated in the community. At the pop-up markets, do the vendors pay a fee to participate in those pop-up markets?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
As I said, the mission, and it's specifically stated, that's the mission, to bring fresh, locally grown vegetables to the underserved community. That's it. We're not charging yet. So it's not so much, well, it is, really it is, to see the vendors under the tent, but it's also critical and also important. When you say to somebody, she is a farmer, okay? Because many have come to the farm and said, boy, all I do is eat. I've never seen a farmer what is grown. Okay, so our presence is not solely to sell the vegetable. Our presence is also to say, yes, you can be doing this, you can be doing that, and so on and so forth.
Mhm. And another question that has come through, this is about delivering food in the winter. Any consideration about using a bus to bring families and individuals to the winter pop-up markets to increase participation?
Yes, but we are not there yet.
Mhm.
And again, we've tried all this. There are so many, what I call the imaginary fences,
Mhm.
okay? Because now, A, we need to raise money to get the vehicle, the insurance, the driver. We like to pay the
Mhm.
driver, okay? So that's another thing we yet to overcome. We've stepped into it, but we realize, no, we're gonna go back and build up ourselves a little bit and come back.
Mhm. And I had the opportunity with the youth to see the pop-up market in action during the summer. How do you promote for it? Is it word of mouth? Is it pretty much the farmers bring their clientele?
Well, we use all of the above. A, if we are coming to the Latino community, we engage Latino youth and they distribute the promotional material. Okay. We encourage by giving out some gifts, so you can only redeem that in the market. We also invite the Southeast Asian community to be part of the market or to bring art or culture, a dance, whatever. One of the events, the cultural performance that I keep talking about, and I bring this up all the time, is a husband and a wife from Guatemala. They did harvest dance.
Mm.
So you don't have to come and buy vegetable. You can come and watch that performance.
Mhm.
Okay, so.
Mhm. Okay, it sounds like you've made it a cultural community building meeting spot and not just a place to buy your food and go.
That's correct. Actually, we wanted to do more, but we were told no. Well, let me rephrase that. The question is to think of what will make you come to the pop-up market.
Mhm.
Okay, even if you come to smell it. We
Mhm.
wanted to do hair braiding,
Mm.
targeting females. Okay, but we were told no.
Mm.
Okay, the regulation is no, because those hair can get into the vegetable. Well, that's my joke. That's my joke. So we found out that we can do it if we use the word demonstration.
Mm.
Okay, demonstration as compared to really doing it. So we are learning all along. Okay.
Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the workings and happenings at Bami Farm.
Yes.
The high tunnel, you mentioned the high tunnel. What are you growing? What do you usually grow in the high tunnels?
Again, it's still a training field. Okay. Very interesting question. In March 2021, through the family who's been mentored to us, they have their own greenhouse in their house. So they seeded cilantro and collard green, and they brought, I think, 150 seedlings. We planted, and they show us how you cover it during the winter. Okay, the growing is slow because of cold, because the weather is cold, but it's there. All right, and by first week of April, we were ready. Then we planted things that I like bok choy, a lot of it. Okra, I like that, a lot of it. Parsley, yes. A few other African vegetables. Yes, few others that if I mention names, you may be asking me a question about it. So we are experimenting as well as testing. We're gonna, this fall is another stage of experiment. So Saturday I'll be planting some things in the high tunnel. Again, I keep saying I. Why do I use the word I? The women, if they grow things in there and they die, they blame me. So I want to grow my things and tell them what will make it, what will not make it. So that's where the I comes in. As soon as I'm able to establish what will survive, how I can grow and things like that, I'm done. They're gonna take over. Okay. And in fact, we're yet to have, we have one meeting already. We created what I call the leadership group, of which Julius is just one of them.
Okay. There was a question that came in going back to your value added products. I think Sister Dora had this question. So I'm going to ask if she wants to come off of mute because I want to make sure that we give her question justice and that it's said correctly. I don't want to misspeak it. So Sister Dora, why don't you come off mute and ask your question concerning canning and value added products?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Anna. Thank you, Julius. My question is, as far as the canning, what are your biggest purchases? Like what's selling more than others? And I have a question after that.
Okay. Because of what we grow, let's go back to the relish and the garden egg. We have to introduce that to the community. We have to introduce, because of the taste, it's not what many Americans are used to. It's solely an African thing. By the way, it's not solely an African thing. There are other countries that consume a lot of garden egg. They call it different names. So in 2014, we secured some funding from USDA, a planning grant to do a market feasibility on it. And we'll be able to, based on the result of the studies, we'll be able to market the relish in a way that is appealing to everybody. I can share one quick story on that, and if I don't answer your question, please ask again. In 2018, we were at Boston Local Food Festival. What I did was brought a basket full of garden egg, different types. So you walk by, I will tell you, if you taste this, it's very bitter. There's a sweet taste at the end. If you taste this, it's not as bitter. There's this African-American lady. She came the first one, tasted some, went away, came back the second time, tasted some, went away. The third time she came, she took the basket. We were just looking at her and she just walked away, just like that. Okay. So we try to cultivate taste out of it. The other thing we try to, the carrot apple jam just speaks for itself. But going back to that relish from garden egg, we want to take salt out of it. Okay, now, right now we use some salt, but we've tried to take the salt out of it. What we did was we used, what do we call it? Grapes. We took red grapes, we boil it. Okay, we press it and we use the juice. as a sweetener. But that created a different problem. It changed the color completely. All right. So we are in the field of experimenting, and then we call all of you to come and taste. Then once you taste and you give us a feedback, maybe we need to adjust things, we have to send that to Cornell for approval. And that costs some money also. All right. I'm not sure if I answer your question. Please ask again.
Yes, sir, you answered my question. Thank you. Thank you so much, Julie.
This is going to be our last question of the night. It's concerning greenhouses. Does the farm have a greenhouse?
Yes.
And are you currently growing in it?
You want me to tell you what we're doing in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't planning to, but I will. Okay. Again, it is the experiment. Okay. So my experiment is, when can I plant okra and harvest in November or December? That's my project. Okay, because during that time, there is zero in the market. Okay, and I encourage every one of you to try something else that we are doing, and I share it with you. You can try. I have containers of pepper. Okay, and we grow different kinds. My favorite is the one, if you put it in your mouth, you need a gallon of cold water and turn on the fan, because it's gonna burn everything. So what my experiment again is, I grow them in a container, and I've harvested as much as I can. So I trim everything and take that container with trimmed and put it in the greenhouse and cover it. Two things has happened so far. No, three things. Before I put it in there, the leaves were turning yellow. The leaves now look very green. Two, there were flowers. Three, there was a pepper. One. Okay. My mission is to try and see, can I do this without having to go start with seed next season? If I can start with something that just, can start at some level, I can survive as compared to the seedling and, okay. I don't know if it's gonna work. So I'm sharing my secret with you. Okay. You all can try it.
I enjoy experiments. I experiment quite often, particularly with overwintering things. So
yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julius. As we begin to wrap up this wonderful discussion and presentation, if folks want to reach out to you, come visit, set up times to come to the pop-up markets, what is the best way that they can reach you?
And first, number one is to reach out to you. You know how to find me. Okay. Secondly, you can send me an email. Okay. Did I provide my email?
We can put it in the chat if you want to give us your email.
Please do. You can call the office 401-331-5535, 401-331-5535. That's our office. Okay. And if you forget all of the above, Google African Alliance of Rhode Island. Okay. In fact, I encourage you to visit our website. Okay. Please do, and give us a feedback.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Well, this has been a wonderful presentation. For those of you who are joining late, we did record it. It will be up on NOFA's website in a few days, so you can view this again and view it in its entirety. A big thank you and shout out to Brother Julius Kolawole. Thank you so much for your time with us tonight. And hopefully everyone got something from it, just to see the work that's happening in Providence, our neighbor next door. It's some wonderful work, wonderful work. And as a reminder, everyone, don't forget, NOFA will be having their winter conference. It will be January 15th and 16th. It will be at Worcester State University and also online. So you have the benefit of both if you prefer to view it at home or to view it in person. You can go to our website to register. We'll put that in the chat. You can go right to nofamass.org to register. That's one of our major upcoming events. Also on the 16th, Sister Dora will be hosting our bioremediation education online event with Andrew Lorian, our bioremediation coordinator and instructor. Get a chance to hear about the bioremediation work taking place in Springfield with Gardena Community and Home City Housing. That starts at 4 p.m. And you can also go to our website for more info. So thank you all so much. We look forward to seeing you on the 16th or at the conference. Enjoy this beautiful evening. Be well. Godspeed.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Julius.
All right, good night.
Thank you, Julius. Excellent.